last, but I do have a question to go over. And that question is 5.121/10. First of all, is it a test question? Yes, it is a test question. Now I'm going to show you graphically what it is, and we went over this first couple of days when I was telling y'all to compare everything to f of x is equal to 1 over x and everything to 1 over x squared. Okay, and I told y'all that these were the parent graphs of this section. Okay, and y'all remember I went over some examples, and I said 1 over x plus 2, and I showed y'all the examples. Well, this one is f of x, so this is 1 over x. So we're going to compare it to this parent graph. So the parent graph is actually like that. That's 1 over x. So this one says 1 over x plus 4. The 4 is not connected to the x. The 4 is connected to the function. So if the 4 is connected to the function, that means it's a vertical shift, just like we've learned in the last 3 or 4 units or chapters, whatever. 1 over x plus 4. That plus 4 represents a vertical shift because it's not tied to the x. It's tied to the function. So you can put like a parenthesis right here. It's tied to the function. So that means that you've got a vertical shift of 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now your new vertical asymptote or horizontal asymptote is right there, and your new is your other one didn't change. And instead of the 1 over x being here, it's now going to be, there. So that's what the function 1 over x plus 4 looks like. So you're going to go up 4 units. Remember, in order for the horizontal shift to be into play, it has to be connected to the x. Let me give you an example. Therefore, on the recording, you can say, oh, I'm going to rewind that. If you had f of x is equal to 1 over x minus 2 plus 4. See, the 2 is connected to the x. The 2 is connected to the x, so therefore, now you've got a horizontal shift of 2 to the right. 1, 2, and now your vertical asymptote is right there, and now you've got that function. So just like the parabolas, the number has to be connected to the x for it to be a horizontal shift. Okay? We don't care, Mr. Bates. We really don't care about you. We talk about you when you're not here. All right. Question. Great. Complaint. That is a good test question because it's short, sweet, to the point. Remember, 5.1 is not going to be a lot of, crazy stuff. It's just going to be, straightforward. In fact, I was going to go see where we were. Can you explain the decrease and increasing of those graphs? Yeah, I'd be glad to. Okay. technically from, oh gosh, been doing that all morning. Now I can get into 111, but I can't get into 110. Damn Iranians and Russians. Don't forget the Russians. There we go. I'm just going to look right quick because I can't remember. I know we started vertical and horizontal asymptotes, but I can't remember how far we got. Can somebody tell me how far we got with vertical and horizontal asymptotes? Miss Davis, can you tell me? Because you're the only one that communicates with me. Lord, she done went back to sleep now. Okay, so nobody's going to tell me. Can anybody tell me how far we got Wednesday?
You did like an example problem or two with asymptotes.
Of vertical and horizontal asymptotes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll get back to that in just a minute after this question. All right. Now, increasing and decreasing. If you was to do the domain and range, I'll just go down the whole list. Let me go back and do the original, okay? Because you got too much going on right here, okay? Too much. So I'm going to go back to the original question. And the original question is compared to this parent graph, and we're going to have a f of x is equal to 1 over x plus 4. So we've got a vertical shift of 4 up. So our new function looks like this. Okay, domain is all real numbers except x cannot equal 0. Okay. Range is from negative infinity to 4, and from 4 to infinity. In decreasing, negative infinity to 0, and decreasing from 0 to infinity. Okay, which way do we read? We read from left to right. So put you a car right there and tell me what that car is doing from left to right. I want somebody to tell me what that car is doing. It's going to be going what? Okay, can y'all hear me, or is there a problem with communication or what?
We can hear you and stuff.
Y'all just don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Okay. It's always a good way to be, no communication. It's a good way to be, relationships and going into careers. Good way not to talk. Good way to set up yourself. So this one's going downhill. What?
I said, I'm sorry. I was listening. I'm out trying to get a rental car.
That's all right. You're out trying to get around a car.
Rental car.
Oh, okay.
Hit a deer. Gotta get a rental car. So I'm just listening today.
Yeah. We all know what happened, Miss Davis. You got drunk, ran in a ditch. That's what happened. All right. So It's going downhill and going downhill. So it's decreasing. Does that help, Miss Yarborough? Does that help?
Yeah, it helps. I just kind of, I guess, went blank and needed an explanation.
Yeah, we always read from left to right, unless you're from the Middle East, Masalama. If you're or from around here, you read left to right. So always put your little car on the left-hand side and tell me what the little car is doing. It's decreasing. Okay. Now I use a plane also. You can use a plane or a car, whichever one you want to do. And the line of symmetry, well, technically the line of symmetry is the origin, because technically the line of symmetry is a 45-degree like that. That's the line of symmetry. So we won't get into that. It's an oblique triangle. I mean, oblique line of symmetry. So we're not going to worry about that. Okay. So that is a good test question. Short and sweet on this as far as what the question asks. There it is right there. So which one is it? Well, it's not this one because that's a horizontal shift. It's not that one. That's a horizontal shift. It's not that one because that's negative. So it'd have to be alpha. The domain is negative infinity, and you'll have to type this in because it says interval notation. So negative parentheses, negative infinity, comma, 0, close parentheses, union, because they don't overlap, parentheses, 0, comma, positive infinity. And we feel good about ourselves. So we don't have to put smokestacks on our pickup truck. The range is from negative infinity, parentheses, negative infinity, comma, 4, union, 4, comma, infinity. Now, the reason you use the U is because they don't overlap. Overlap would be intersection, which is an upside down U. Okay. Good test question. If you can't do it, that means you're a failure. And if you can't do it, you can watch the video for the one person that's going to watch the video, and you can rewind it several times to see what you did. I'm sorry I have to keep saying that, but after I got those emails a couple of weeks ago, I feel like I have to explain how things work over and over and over. I'm sorry, but you know, the whole point of having videos is so you can actually look at them and rewind. You know, look and rewind, look and rewind. Just, I didn't think I'd have to explain that to college students, but I do. Question on this one. All righty. So let's go back to vertical and horizontal asymptotes. And I can't remember if that was 5.2. I think it was 5.2. So let me look in the 5.2 homework and see if I can't find a problem or two that might be on the test. That will suffice as a good example. So 5.2. And I don't know which one I did for y'all last, but let me see if I can find one that just says find the vertical and horizontal asymptotes. Okay. Okay. That one's not bad. So let's do this one. And I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to show you how to do everything. All right, so let's write this one down. And this is the type of question I would ask you. And if you can do what I'm going to do, then you're okay for the test on 5.2. So first thing you're going to do is write down the problem. F of x is equal to 6 minus 2x over 11 minus x. Now, of course, the way it's written is all screwed up. You'd put the x first, but I'm not going to say anything. And I'm going to just draw. Now, since the beginning of quadratics, I've been telling y'all to plug in 0 for y and 0 for x to find your x and y intercept. So let's go ahead and do that. First, x-intercept. Plug in 0 for y. So 0 is equal to 11 minus x. Sorry. Oh, man. 6 minus 2x over 11 minus x. Multiply both sides by 11 minus x. 11 minus x. And 0 is equal to 6 minus 2x. Negative 6 is equal to negative 2x. X is equal to 3. So there is our x-intercept. Y-intercept, 0 for x. F of x is equal to 6 minus 2 times 0 over 11 minus 0. And 6 over 11 is our y-intercept. So vertical asymptote, set the denominator equal to 0, and x is equal to 11. So that's our vertical asymptote, meaning that our domain is all real numbers except x cannot equal 11. So that's our domain. Make sure I got that right. Take the 11 over, that'd be negative 11 divided by negative 1. That should be 11. So there's the three things that we can find algebraically. One more thing, I'm going to rewrite it. Negative 2x plus 6 over negative x plus 11. The degrees are the same, so I'm going to take the coefficients. So I'm going to highlight the coefficients. So since they're the same, my horizontal asymptote is positive 2. Horizontal asymptote is equal to negative 2 over negative 1, which is equal to positive 2. So all that information I just got, and I'm going to put a number 4 here because that's the horizontal asymptote. If you can do all this and punch that in on a calculator, then you can pretty much do it. Okay? That's all right, Mr. Bates. We know you're pretty much a failure in the class. We already know that. That's what we say about you when you're not here.
That sounds about right.
Glad you got a sense of humor. That's a good thing. Sense of humor, communication, those things are great. Those things will, help you out in the future and won't have you in a closet office down near the janitorial closet, because you don't communicate. Okay? So I don't know what the question's going to ask, but let's see what it's going to ask. Let's go back to our handy dandy question. And let's look for a vertical asymptote of 11. So 11 would be positive. So it's not this one. It's not this one. So it's not A or B. And a horizontal asymptote of positive 6/11. Well, it's not this one because that's a negative. So I believe it's delta. It's a miracle. And of course, if you don't have any idea what I just done, you can always put that on the calculator and it'll tell you. Okay, but I just went through deduction by what we have right here. I just went by deduction and I took what we had right here, pretty much these two guys right here, the vertical and horizontal asymptotes. Kind of like the vertex. You know how important the vertex is with a parabola. Well, the vertical and horizontal asymptotes is just like the vertex in some ways, because look what it gives you. It gives you the origin right there, see? So it's kind of like the vertex. So if you can do what I just did right there for every problem on 5.2 and put it on a calculator, you should be able to get the answer. Just do a nerd. Because if that one don't discourage you, maybe another one will. Okay, here's one. Let's do this one. Now I'm going to give y'all a couple of minutes to do it. I'm talking about what I just did, the x-intercept, the y-intercept, the vertical asymptote, and the horizontal asymptote. So here we go. F of x is equal to negative 4x over x squared minus 4. All right, give you a couple of minutes. And just to make sure I pressure you, I'm going to show you the clock. That way it'll freak you out a little bit more. How about that? Anybody feel pressured? Nobody feels pressured. Okay. Mostly tired. Oh, Lord. I stayed up last night till 1 o'clock. Yeah, whatever. We all know Mr. Bates is going to get fired one day at work. What?
Are we gonna have to fight?
Yep.
All right.
I do everything the last minute. Yeah. A little stress never hurt anyone. Yeah, that's true. I was just so impressed last night. I just couldn't go to sleep. Y'all ever noticed how fast the clock runs when you're trying to do a problem? That's good enough. All right, so here we go. I'm going to find my x-intercept first. X-intercept, plug in 0 for y. 0 is equal to negative 4x over x squared minus 4. Of course, the x squared minus 4 is going to cancel out. 0 is equal to negative 4x. Divide by negative 4. And x is equal to 0. Y-intercept. Plug in 0 for x. That's going to give us f of x, or f of 0, is equal to negative 4 times 0, 0 squared minus 4. And that's going to give us 0 again. So we know that this function is going to be revolving around the origin. So let's go ahead and find our vertical asymptote. X squared minus 4 is equal to 0. X squared is equal to 4. X is equal to positive or negative 2. Horizontal asymptote. The degree of the top is less than the degree of the bottom. Therefore, the y is equal to 0, or the x-axis is the horizontal asymptote, since the degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator. So we're ready to draw this thing. We know that the x and y intercept is right there. We know we got a vertical asymptote with positive 2 and negative 2. And we know that the horizontal asymptote is the y-axis. And of course, that's where the calculator comes in, and you can go back to the question. And we know we've got one at 2 and negative 2. Okay. We know that the x squared function looks like this. So it's going to be some kind of variation of this function. And of course, since the x is on top, the x kind of messes up the function. So I would suggest going to the calculator. And that's where the calculator comes in handy here. Unless you want to do old school and plug and chug negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2 and get some kind of indication of where it's going. That's old school. See, now you don't have to do that because you have the calculator. So y is equal to, let me delete this one, parentheses, negative 4x, close parentheses, divided by parentheses, x squared minus 4. And graph. And there is the general outline of it, the general outlay of the, looks like delta. And we are waiting. And we are waiting. Okay. Well, that's the answer. Now, of course, your domain and range is going to be kind of weird. Okay, next question. But usually on one like this, they're not going to ask you the domain and range. because it is a little bit quirky. Domain would be negative infinity to -2, -2 to +2, and then +2 to infinity. All those with parentheses. And U's in the middle for union because there's no overlap. Your domain is going to be from negative infinity to 0, and then from 0 to positive infinity. Increasing from negative infinity to -2, increasing from -2 to +2, and increasing from +2 to infinity. I want to find a quadratic. Okay, we could do that one, but I really want to do one. Come on. Nope. Nope. Come on, you gotta give me one. Not believing that. The homework don't even give you one that you have to divide. Well, that's stupid. All right, let me find one. All right, try that one. 2 minutes. F of x is equal to 2x squared over x to the 4th plus 1. I wouldn't even try it. I'd quit. Too much work. Mr. Bates, you coughing real bad. Is that anxiety or do you have COVID? Oh, he done went back to sleep.
Can it be both?
No, you can't have both. Oh no, you can't have both. It's got to be COVID. That way, if you can be part of the research. It's got
Does
to
that
be
mean I
COVID.
don't come to class?
Yeah, you shut down. We're gonna shut down everything.
I gotta stay off the mic so I don't spread it.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah. Put your mask on, it'll be okay. If you put your mask on, that'll fix everything.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Even though the CDC says it don't. But anyway, no, it's not the flu because the flu, what's that? Yeah, it don't exist. You can go out and get run over by a train, and I guess they'll say it's going to be COVID. Oh, he had COVID. Oh, don't get me started. I just hope America is smarter. I hope America is smarter than they think we are, because they really think we're dumb as rocks. Yep, you get run over by a train. He died of COVID. All right, here we go. X-intercept. 0 for y. 0 for y is going to give you 0 is equal to 2x squared, which is 0. Y-intercept, 0 for x, is going to give you 0 over 1, which is 0. Exactly. I ain't gonna say a word, but make sure you wear your mask when you're at a podium 50 feet away from everybody else. Anyway, 0, 0, and now let's do x to the fourth plus 1 is equal to 0. Oops, I'm sorry. Where is my... There we go. And x to the fourth is equal to 0. I'm sorry, 1. And x is equal to positive or negative 1. And my vertical, that's the vertical asymptote. And the horizontal asymptote, 2 f of x is equal to 2x squared over 1x to the fourth. The numerator of the degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator. Therefore, my horizontal asymptote is y is equal to 0, which means the x what? Axis. So we really don't have much to go on, but we have the horizontal asymptote as the y-axis, the x-axis, and we've got vertical asymptotes at positive and negative 1. So your graph is going to be between those pink and orange lines. So let's go back to the question. And I would say it's probably going to be, I would say either B or D. Why? Because it's on the x-axis. This one crosses the x-axis, and this one's above the x-axis. So it's either B or D, and I think it's B because this looks like this would be the inverse, but I may be wrong. That's where the calculator comes in. So y is equal to parentheses 2x squared over x to the fourth plus 1. There it is. Dang old mustache. Domain is all real numbers, looks like to me, because you can plug anything on the bottom. Wait a minute. You can't plug positive or negative 1. Yeah. Negative 1. I think negative 1. Let's see. Yeah, you can, because the square makes everything positive and it includes 0, and 0 plus 1 is 1. So there's hardly any way you're going to be able to get 0 in the denominator. So negative infinity to positive infinity. The range is from 0 to the highest point here, and you'd have to pull that up. Looks like 1. I can't see. Hold on. Yeah. From 0 to 1. So I don't think it touches 0. So 0, comma, and I don't think it touches 1 either, but it may touch 1. Oh, shoot. 0 to 1, parentheses. So put a bracket on 1. That may be the answer. Well, I have no idea unless 0 is a bracket also. It could be. You'd have to blow it up to see it. Delete. Yep. The graph is symmetric around the y-axis. Okay. Choose the correct asymptotes. Y is equal to 1. Well, actually, positive and negative 1. I would say that one. No. Choose the correct asymptotes. Okay, y is equal to 0. And the reason there's no other asymptotes is because technically you can't get 0 in the denominator. Okay, that's why. So that's why you don't have any vertical asymptotes. I did show them right here, but with the x squared, x to the 4th on the bottom, there is no way that you're ever going to get 0 in the denominator. No way. So that's kind of a false positive. Oh, I know. Hold on. I made a mistake. That's a negative 1, and you can't have a even root equal to negative 1. You can't have that. So there is no x-intercepts. I made a mistake. Sorry. So mark through that. And these do not exist. Sorry. So I made a mistake. I said positive 1. I brought that over and I put positive 1, and it's not a positive 1, it's negative 1. And you can't have the even root of a negative number come out to be negative. So that's why there's no vertical asymptotes. My mistake. You should have caught that, Mr. Bates. All right, so that's 3 good questions. I'm not really worried about the other question because you don't have a homework question where you use long division. That's what I was looking for. So you should be able to get 5.1 and 5.2 done over the weekend. Capiche?
Capiche.
You're trying to get your pen to work. That's good, Mr. J. You bring 1 pen to class. That's good. Way to be prepared, Mr. Bates. Mr. Bates is going to end up on the sidewalk in a box one day. Y'all wait and see what I tell you. All right. So let's shut her down. And y'all have all weekend to work on 5.1 and 5.2. So that means 5.3 is in your future for Monday. Right now, I don't think I'm teaching 111. I think I'm teaching 140. I'm teaching 140. I might be teaching 140 in the upcoming semester and summer. So I think I'm going to be teaching both 140s. So, but I will say that I think one of my good teachers, Miss Barnett, write that down, Miss Barnett. I think she's teaching 111. So look for that name, Miss Barnett. Okay. All right. I'm going to shut her down and let me know if you need anything, and I will see y'all Monday.